There are conversations nobody wants to have, signs nobody wants to see, and moments when you realize the person you love is entering their final chapter. These moments don't announce themselves with fanfare or dramatic declarations. They arrive quietly, in small changes you might not notice at first. A missed phone call that goes unreturned, an untouched plate of food sitting on the table, an afternoon nap that stretches into evening and then into night. And by the time you recognize what's happening, you wish desperately that you'd seen it sooner, that you'd known what to look for, that you'd had more time to prepare. I'm a hospice nurse. I've been doing this sacred, difficult, heartbreaking, and sometimes beautiful work for 23 years. I've sat with over 1,000 families as they've walked their loved ones to the end of life. I've held hands at 3 a.m. when everyone else was too exhausted to stay awake, when the house was dark and quiet, except for the sound of labored breathing. I've witnessed tears of overwhelming grief, tears of unexpected relief, and tears of profound gratitude for a life well lived and a peaceful death. And through all of it, through every patient, every family, every goodbye, I've learned that there are 5 unmistakable signs that appear in the last year, sometimes the last 6 months, that tell you time is running short. Most families don't recognize these signs until it's far too late. They miss the goodbye conversations they wish they'd had. They waste precious, irreplaceable time on arguments about medications, logistics about living arrangements, and endless worries about finances and paperwork, instead of focusing on connection and closure. They spend the last months fighting about whether dad should move to assisted living or whether mom needs more care, when what their parents really need is for someone to simply sit with them and ask about their life, their regrets, their hopes, their wishes for the family after they're gone. If someone you love is over 75 or battling a serious illness like cancer, heart failure, COPD, Alzheimer's, or any other terminal condition, you need to know what to look for. Because once you see these signs clearly, once you understand what they mean, you have a critical choice to make. You can ignore them, deny them, rationalize them away, and live with crushing regret later. Or you can acknowledge them with courage and make the absolute most of whatever time you have left together. I'm here to help you make that choice with open eyes and a prepared heart. My name is Beth Williams. Everyone calls me Beth. I'm 58 years old, and I've been a hospice nurse in Denver, Colorado for 23 years. More than 2 decades of sitting with the dying, more than 2 decades of helping families navigate the most difficult time of their lives. Before hospice, I worked in oncology for 7 years, watching patients fight cancer with everything they had. Chemotherapy that made them violently ill, radiation that burned their skin, clinical trials with terrible side effects, surgeries that left them scarred and weakened. I saw the hope burning bright in their eyes when treatment worked, when tumors shrank, when cancer went into remission. And I saw the devastating moment when that hope died, when the doctor said there was nothing more they could do, when fighting was no longer an option. Eventually, after 7 years in oncology, I realized something profound about myself and my calling. My purpose wasn't in helping people fight death. My purpose was in helping them face death with dignity, peace, and meaning. So, I became a hospice nurse. I've seen death in every form imaginable. Sudden deaths that came without warning in the middle of the night, slow deaths that took months of gradual decline, peaceful deaths where the person simply stopped breathing with a gentle sigh, painful deaths despite our best efforts with morphine and medications, expected deaths we'd all prepared for, unexpected deaths that shocked everyone. I've been with patients who died surrounded by 3 generations of family, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, all holding hands in a circle around a bed. And I've been with patients who died completely alone because their family couldn't face being there, couldn't watch, couldn't handle the reality of death. I've helped grown men, tough guys who never showed emotion, say goodbye to their fathers for the first time with real vulnerability, watch them break down and finally say, "I love you," after decades of emotional distance and masculine stoicism. I've helped elderly women forgive estranged daughters they hadn't spoken to in years, healing deep wounds that had festered for 20 or 30 years, allowing both mother and daughter to finally find peace. I've watched people die with profound peace on their faces, a gentle smile, relaxed body, surrounded by love and acceptance, ready to let go. And I've watched people die with deep regret etched in every line of their face, angry at the world, bitter about how life turned out, unable to let go of grudges and resentments, even at the very end. Through all of this experience, 1,000 deaths, 1,000 families, 1,000 final goodbyes, I've learned one undeniable universal truth that applies to almost everyone. The body gives warnings. Months before death actually comes, before that final breath, the body and mind begin the complex process of preparing to die. It's not sudden, it's not random, it's not unpredictable. There are clear patterns, recognizable signs, biological and psychological signals that tell us the end is approaching. And if you know what to look for, if someone teaches you these signs, you can recognize when someone you love has entered their final year of life. I'm not sharing this information to scare you or to make you anxious every time your elderly parent takes a longer nap or skips a meal. I'm sharing this because knowledge is power. When you recognize these signs early, when you see them for what they really are, you stop wasting precious time on things that ultimately don't matter. You stop having the wrong conversations about trivial things. You stop making elaborate plans for a future that simply isn't coming. And you start doing what truly matters. Making meaningful memories, having honest talks about life and death, saying the things that need to be said, healing old wounds that have hurt for years, forgiving ancient grievances, and creating a peaceful, meaningful, beautiful ending. So, let me tell you the 5 signs I see in almost every single patient who's within their last year of life. These aren't just my personal observations, they're backed by decades of hospice research, palliative care studies, and my own 23 years of daily hands-on experience. And if someone you love is showing 3 or more of these signs simultaneously, please listen carefully and take this seriously. Time is precious, and it's running out much faster than you think or want to believe. Sign 1. Social withdrawal. They stop wanting to see people. This is often the very first sign families notice, and it's almost always completely misinterpreted. Your mom, who used to be the absolute life of every family gathering, who loved hosting Thanksgiving and Christmas, who never missed the birthday party, suddenly stops wanting visitors. She makes excuses when people call. She says she's too tired, not feeling well, maybe another time. Your dad, who never missed his weekly poker game with the same group of guys he's played with for 40 years, starts canceling. First once, then twice, then he just stops going altogether. Your grandmother, who talked on the phone with her sister every single morning for as long as you can remember, an unbreakable routine for decades, suddenly stops calling and doesn't answer when her sister calls her. You think they're depressed, and maybe they are a little. You think they're being difficult or stubborn, maybe even a little selfish. Maybe you think they're angry at someone in the family, holding a grudge. You push them to stay social, to get out of the house, to engage with people who love them. Come on, Mom, everyone wants to see you. They miss you. Dad, the guys really miss you at poker. They keep asking about you. Grandma, your sister is so worried. She thinks you're mad at her. You mean well. You're trying to help. You're trying to prevent isolation and depression. But here's what's really happening beneath the surface, what you can't see. They're beginning the natural psychological process of detaching from this world, from earthly relationships, from the concerns and dramas of daily life. It's not depression, though it can look very similar to an outside observer. It's not stubbornness or selfishness. It's preparation for what's coming: death. I've seen this exact pattern play out hundreds and hundreds of times in my 23 years of hospice work. A patient who used to host big Sunday family dinners, who loved having a house full of noise and laughter and grandchildren running around, suddenly doesn't want anyone over. The thought of company exhausts them. A man who never ever missed his Thursday golf game with his 3 best friends, who played every single week regardless of weather, suddenly says, "I'm just too tired. Tell them I'll catch them next time." But next time never comes. And eventually he stops being invited because everyone assumes he's not interested anymore. A woman who volunteered at the public library every Tuesday and Friday for 20 years, who loved recommending books to patrons, suddenly stops showing up without explanation, stops returning calls from her volunteer coordinator, retreats completely into her home. Families get frustrated, they get worried, they get angry.
Why won't she see anyone anymore? She used to love having company. What's wrong with her? Why is she being like this? But this withdrawal, this pulling back from social connections, isn't about not loving people anymore. It's not about being antisocial or giving up on life or not caring. It's about something much deeper, more instinctive, and more natural than that. The body and mind are conserving every bit of energy for the enormous, exhausting task ahead, the task of dying. Dying takes tremendous energy. It takes mental and emotional focus, and the body, instinctively, without conscious thought, knows it needs to turn inward, away from the noise and demands and expectations of social life, toward the quiet internal work of letting go of this world and preparing for whatever comes next. Research from the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization consistently shows that social withdrawal typically begins anywhere from 6 to 12 months before death in elderly patients with terminal illnesses or those in advanced old age. Psychologists and thanatologists, people who study death and dying, call this phenomenon life review and detachment. The dying person begins emotionally and psychologically separate from relationships and worldly concerns. They stop caring about the gossip, the news cycle, the neighborhood drama, the church politics, the family feuds, all the things that used to occupy their attention and energy. They turn inward, reflecting deeply on their life, asking themselves big existential questions, preparing mentally and spiritually for what's coming. They're processing their entire life. What did my life mean? What am I proud of? What do I regret? What legacy am I leaving? What do I want my family to know before I die?
When you see this happening to someone you love, please don't force social interaction. Don't guilt them into seeing people they don't want to see anymore. Aunt Mary drove all the way across town just to see you. You can't say no to her now. Yes, they can say no, and you need to respect that and let them. Respect their need for quiet, for solitude, for turning inward. Their body and soul are telling them exactly what they need right now, and what they need is peace, not performance, not entertaining visitors, not pretending to be okay when they're not. But, and this is absolutely critical, make sure they know clearly that you're available whenever they do want to talk. Don't withdraw yourself just because they've withdrawn from others. Sit with them in comfortable silence if that's what they need. Be present without demanding conversation or engagement. Read a book nearby. Watch TV together quietly. Just be there. And when they do open up, when they're finally ready to talk about what's really happening, truly listen without interrupting, without trying to fix it, without denying reality. Some of the most meaningful, profound, beautiful conversations I've witnessed in my entire 23 years have happened in these quiet moments, when a patient, after days or even weeks of silence, finally opens up about their deepest fears, their biggest regrets, the things they wish they'd done differently, or the important things they want their family to know and remember after they're gone. Sign 2. Sleeping significantly more, 14+ hours a day. This is the sign that families notice, comment on constantly, and then rationalize away with a dozen different explanations. Dad's always napping now. I swear every time I look at him, his eyes are closed. Mom sleeps until 11 a.m., then takes a 3-hour nap after lunch, and she's back in bed by 7 p.m. Grandpa falls asleep in his recliner within 5 minutes of sitting down after every single meal. You tell yourself it's just normal old age. Old people sleep more than young people, right? Everyone knows that. It's just boredom. There's nothing interesting to keep them awake and engaged. It's the medication. That new blood pressure pill must be making them drowsy. Or maybe it's the pain medication the doctor prescribed. But when someone is sleeping 14, 16, even 18 hours a day, when they're awake for less time than they're asleep, their body is actively, progressively shutting down. Here's what's actually happening physiologically, and it's important that you understand this process. Their organs are failing, not dramatically, not suddenly with alarms going off, but progressively, quietly, and inevitably. The body is working harder and harder, using more and more energy just to maintain the most basic life functions, circulation of blood, digestion of any food they're still eating, breathing, waste removal through kidneys and bowels. That constant effort is profoundly, overwhelmingly exhausting in ways that healthy people can't really comprehend. Sleep becomes the body's default state, its resting mode, because it's desperately conserving every single ounce of energy it has for the essential work of keeping you alive for just one more day, one more hour. The kidneys are slowing down significantly, processing less fluid, filtering fewer toxins and waste products from the bloodstream. Those toxins, urea, creatinine, metabolic waste products, build up gradually in the blood. High levels of these toxins cause profound fatigue, mental confusion, and overwhelming drowsiness. The heart is weakening day by day, its muscle fibers worn out from decades of beating roughly 100,000 times every single day. It's pumping less blood with each beat now, delivering less oxygen-rich blood to the brain and muscles. Everything becomes harder, heavier, more tiring. Even simple thinking becomes mentally exhausting.
I had a patient named Richard, 81 years old, end-stage pancreatic cancer that had spread throughout his abdomen. A former high school principal, sharp as a tack his whole life, always reading the newspaper cover to cover, always staying informed about current events. His daughter called me about 6 months before he died, frustrated and frightened. "Beth, he sleeps all day, every day. I try to get him up, encourage him to take a walk in the backyard, try to keep him engaged in conversation, but he just wants to sleep. Every single time I look at him, he's asleep. Is he giving up on life? Is he clinically depressed? Should I talk to his oncologist about antidepressants?" I sat with her at her kitchen table and gently, carefully explained. He's not giving up. He's not lazy. He's not depressed in the clinical sense. His body is using every single ounce of energy it has, every calorie, every bit of strength, just to stay alive. Sleep isn't laziness or avoidance of reality. It's biological survival. His pancreatic cancer has spread everywhere. His liver is full of tumors. His kidneys are struggling. His body knows what's happening, even if his conscious mind hasn't fully accepted it yet. Sleep is his body's way of coping, conserving, and preparing for the end. When someone you love starts sleeping most of the day and night, don't fight it. Let them rest. Sit with them while they sleep if you want to be near them. Hold their hand. But understand clearly, this dramatic increase in sleep is a clear biological signal that the body is in active, irreversible decline. We're talking about months remaining, not years. Sign 3. Loss of appetite, refusing even favorite foods. This sign absolutely breaks families' hearts, and I completely understand why. Food is love in so many cultures and families. We show care and affection by feeding people. We celebrate every milestone with meals. We comfort with favorite dishes. So when your mother, who used to absolutely love your homemade lasagna, the recipe you learned directly from her kitchen, takes 2 small bites and pushes the plate away, it feels like personal rejection. When your father, who never in 80 years missed dessert, who had the sweetest tooth imaginable, suddenly has no interest whatsoever in his favorite pecan pie that you drove all the way across town to get from his favorite bakery, you feel helpless and heartbroken. But here's the hard truth. When someone is actively dying, their body no longer needs food. The digestive system is shutting down. Food becomes uncomfortable, even painful. The body can't extract nutrients anymore. Eating becomes a burden. And yet, families fixate on food, believing if they can just get their loved one to eat, everything will be okay. Research shows loss of appetite typically occurs 3 to 6 months before death. It's natural. Forcing food causes more harm than good. What helps? Offering small amounts without pressure, focusing on connection instead of nutrition. I remember Margaret, 77, heart failure. Her family brought favorite foods from restaurants. Nothing worked. I told them, stop focusing on food, focus on being with her. They did. In her final weeks, instead of battles over meals, they had beautiful conversations and made peace with her dying.
Sign 4. Talking about the past, giving away possessions. Your dad tells the same childhood stories repeatedly. Your mom talks endlessly about her wedding day. Your grandfather suddenly wants to give you his watch. You think it's sweet nostalgia, but it's preparation. They're saying goodbye. When someone enters their final year, they begin life review, mentally revisiting their entire life, finding meaning, achieving closure. Giving away possessions is intentional legacy creation. They want loved ones to have meaningful items while they can still talk about them. I had a patient named Thomas, 84, emphysema. 6 months before he died, he systematically gave each family member something precious. Looking back, his family realized he was saying goodbye, ensuring they'd have pieces of him to remember. If your loved one is doing this, pay attention, ask questions, record their stories. This is their way of saying, "I'm ready. Are you?" Sign 5. Physical decline, rapid weight loss, weakness, frequent falls. Your loved one loses 30, 40 pounds rapidly. They can't walk without help. They fall constantly. You think it's fixable with therapy and better nutrition. But when physical decline is this rapid and severe, it's terminal. The body is breaking down fundamentally. Muscles waste away, bones weaken, balance disappears. Every system is failing. No amount of intervention can reverse multi-system organ failure at this stage. I've seen families spend fortunes trying to reverse this decline, but in 23 years, I've never seen it reversed. What I have seen is families who accept the decline and focus on comfort and meaningful time together. Dorothy, 79, metastatic cancer, lost 45 pounds. Her family finally stopped treatments and brought her home. She spent her last 6 weeks surrounded by family, saying goodbye. She died peacefully, and her family had no regrets. Final thoughts. If your loved one shows 3 or more signs, first, have the conversation. Ask, "Are you ready to talk about what's happening?" Most dying people feel relieved when someone finally asks. Second, prioritize time over tasks. Stop worrying about logistics. Sit with them. Listen. Say what needs to be said. Third, consider hospice care. It's not giving up, it's choosing comfort and dignity. It allows peaceful time at home surrounded by love. Finally, forgive yourself in advance. You'll miss things. You'll say wrong things. That's human. What matters is you tried, you were present, you loved them.
I've done this work 23 years. Death isn't the enemy. Regret is. Recognize the signs. Have the conversations. Create beautiful memories. When the end comes, you'll have peace knowing you did everything that mattered.